Ever wondered what a mine geologist does all day? Throw rocks down a hole just to listen to the sound.
Hello and welcome to another video. Today we are going to talk about some commodities that the United States are in dire need of. This is part 1. So let's go right into it. With the increasing need of nuclear energy for data centers and smart cities and electrical vehicles and so forth, and the fact that there are currently 440 nuclear reactors on the planet, and 65 new reactors under construction and 95 under permitting worldwide, and with the increasing appetite for nuclear energy in the United States as well, the fact that they are highly dependent on importing uranium's increased utility and need in America, therefore needing to be more independent, and the fact that they're highly dependent on imports. By the way, some companies I think have some potential. Bear in mind, all of them have rallied tremendously this year, like tremendously, especially energy fuels, which I talked about earlier this year in April. Bear in mind, I like all those companies. I think Cameco is the largest uranium producer. Uranium Energy Corp has larger uranium reserves than energy fuels, but energy fuels also has rare earths and processing and their own mill and so forth. So, pick your poison. Let's go over to the next one. And now let's go over to copper. The reason why it also piqued my interest is that the fact that America is highly dependent on getting copper from imports, and the fact that it's highly electricity generation in data centers, in electrical vehicles, in batteries, solar panels, etc. And the fact that even according to Reuters, with a recent article saying that due to the massive underinvestment in commodities for years now, be in the future set in stage for like a commodity super cycle due to the fact that everyone is going to need more resources to improve their infrastructure, to improve electrification, data centers, AI and so forth, and everyone's going to need nickel, copper and these things. It's not like a light switch. It takes like several years to get a mine up and running, to get the infrastructure in place and so forth. So the fact that when people are going to be desperate for like these resources, people are going to scramble for them, and the prices are probably going to increase dramatically in the future, which would benefit us as like commodity investors, but like obviously it wouldn't be so good for our society, obviously. But it appears to be that data centers globally, copper use in data centers will apparently grow 6-fold in the next 25 years, according to BHP, which is one of the major copper suppliers on the planet. Apparently AI servers draw 4 to 6 times more, or needing more electricity than traditional servers. They also use between 30 and 40% more copper. Apparently each year will grow between 8 and 12% copper consumption for data centers. It's like incredible. And and like copper is also used in chips, or like copper is used in many areas in data centers, including like power connectors, chip cooling, like so many things, and a growing market. And the fact that America is highly dependent on foreign sources or like international sources, they are going to desperately need more production up and running. Even these companies I just mentioned, I don't even believe America will be completely independent, even if all of those projects I mentioned in this picture, Arizona's Sonora Copper, BHP and Gunnison, it helps a little bit, But these are like one of my favorite copper companies. Bear in mind, I'm not invested in those copper companies, but I like Arizona's Sonora Copper, which is apparently going to start producing in 2028. Over to the next one, which is rare earths, which is 17 metallic elements that are used in everything from defense sector, wind turbines, drones, robots, EVs, everything in modern society. And the fact that China is like the main candidate in like rare earths, they are like responsible for like 60 to 70% of all rare earth production, and between 80 and 90% of all processing. Apparently, it seems to be that to be able to use the rare earth, to use in phones and like in modern technology, to utilize it, and the fact that China has a stranglehold on this, that would be very unfortunate for the United States if they were to have a conflict with China, because then America wouldn't be able to produce any of the fancy new modern technology without rare earths. That would be a shame, wouldn't it? America is realizing this. Bear in mind, according to carboncredits.com, rare earth demand to triple by 2035. Like, it's incredible if you think about it. Like, it's enormous. 2035 is less than 10 years from now. 10 years. And America is highly dependent. Most of the rare earths are from China, which would be very unfortunate if they declared war. And it seems to be that, obviously, in this, where is it? Obviously, as you can see on the list, there are some companies in America that are either producing or rather going to produce. Like, there's one company producing currently, it's MP Materials in California. Number 2, which is not currently producing but has an enormous resource, which is NIOCORP Development, which has a fully permitted construction and has the largest terbium resource in America and the second largest dysprosium and NdPr resource in America. So one of the largest resource of rare earths in the United States. And the other company mentioned is Ucore Rare Earths, which has one of the most efficient, apparently, rare earth processing tech, which with their rapid SX. And apparently they will be producing or processing in 2026, 2027. And they are supported by the US government to get it up and running in Louisiana. But bear in mind, all these companies I have on the list, Ucore, Neo Performance Materials, NIOCORP Development, and Critical Metals Corp, they've rallied tremendously since spring. But obviously, if you look at the future potential and if one is patient, then that would perhaps be some opportunity. If I'm going to be completely honest, if I were to now invest in a company on this list, I would probably look at Neo Performance Materials, because I think it's not rallied too much compared to the other ones. Like, I think NIOCORP has increased like 300%. But now let's go over to the next one. The next one will be silver, which America is highly dependent on as well. Bear in mind, if you look at this, in 2024, the supply for silver was 1,015 million ounces. And in 2025, it increased by 15 million ounces, according to the Silver Institute. But bear in mind, if you look at the demand, even if it decreased a little bit in 2025, it was still 1.14 billion ounces, which is over 110 million ounces in deficit. Wow. And that's been like this for years now, but there's been more demand for silver than supply. But yes, even now when it's gone down a little bit. And the fact that silver is used in everything from solar energy, water purification, it's one of the best, if not the best, conductor of electricity, which is essential in like advanced technology and so forth, in phones and everything, literally everything. And I think if I remember correctly, the Samsung just a couple of months ago, apparently each battery will be requiring 5 grams of silver, according to studies I'm reading, which is Shanghai Metals Market, where the article's from. And apparently per car, would every EV battery pack needing 200 cells, meaning that 1 kilogram of silver. Like, what? That's insane. And you know, it's used in everything, as mentioned, in electronics and in circuit boards and so forth. Now let's go over to the next one. And talking about the darling of 2025, gold, which is used in like store of wealth, in like having physical bullion, the store of wealth, the true currency. But it's also used in dentistry, medicine. It's also used in aerospace, electronics, due to its fantastic ability to conduct electricity, and the fact that the increase, like everyone is saying these things, like the central banks buying more and more because, you know, after the United States weaponized the dollar against Russia in 2022 and so forth, confiscating. And since then, gold has just had a rally basically due to banks throughout the world and like high network individuals just buying and buying more and more gold, which you can't blame them, you know, obviously. You just look at gold, it's $3,800 per ounce now. It's incredible. And you know, the United States is going to also need more gold. Everyone's going to need more gold. It's a fantastic material, and everyone needs to become more independent from international sources. Those are some gold companies I personally really like. I like all of those companies, but please do your research. I really like these videos, like Newmont and Borealis Mining Company and Orosone and Alkane Resources. They're like tremendously, like out of these companies, obviously I really like Alkane and Newmont. Hope this has been tremendously useful and insightful. I hope you've had a tremendously intriguing or wonderful experience watching this video. Please like and subscribe if you like this video. If there's anything you think is missing, or if there's something you would like to talk about in the next video, please leave a comment. And hope you thoroughly enjoyed.